has Charlie.
We're taking the lead. UAV recon standing by.
UAV online.
Waiting for your mark. Repeat. Care package waiting for your mark.
Care package on the way.
Predator missile ready for deployment.
Man, I don't know what it is about Modern Warfare 2, but for some reason, every time I put this game in the disc tray of my Xbox 360, it's just a fun time. There are those occasional matches where, you know, you'll struggle to find a clean lobby, is what I like to call them, and many other YouTubers, they'll say a clean lobby usually goes along the lines of people just not really playing like jerks. You know, you just gotta find a normal lobby. A normal lobby in Modern Warfare 2 is what we consider not using the one-man army, you know, that perk and all that BS. But I'm not gonna get into that. This video is actually going to talk about some of the positive factors, you know, of, I guess, Modern Warfare 2 and the fun factors of Call of Duty in general, and how I feel it's changed over the years and just over the course of the Call of Duty life cycle. Now, LP, you know, Lil Patriot or Reign Supreme, whichever you prefer to call him, he did a video on this recently, and I thought I'd do one as well, and I want to go ahead and link his video at the top right corner. Check it out right now. You can check that out, click on the link. It'll bring you to a new window, and you can come back and watch my video or watch his later, or vice versa. Do whatever you feel like. But I'd really, you know, appreciate if you went and checked out his video, because that's where I originally got the idea from, so I'm giving him credit for it. Also, whenever I played this game, for some reason I feel the need to have an AC/DC or Metallica or metal of some sort, kind of music to go into the background, because for some reason in this game, it's got that high action flow. It's a very rare Call of Duty. It seemed after this Call of Duty, the rest of them after that have been like really slow. They put a lot of emphasis on stealth, just the stealth perks in general, stealth tactics, the sound perks, man. It's just been a big mess. And I'm not here to be negative, but I'm just trying to get my point across, saying that, have you noticed, if you've kind of looked in the Call of Duty life cycle, if you've been around, whether you've been around or not, you can definitely go ask the old school YouTubers, I guess you can call them, you know, how it's changed. But you can just look, if you especially watch YouTube videos, you can look from COD 4 to World at War to Modern Warfare 2. Those are the best 3 Call of Duties in my opinion. And after that, it seemed like the developers were getting lazy. The publisher, Activision, I like to put a money side where the S belongs, but you know, an S doesn't really belong there. I feel like a money sign should belong there. And I understand it's a business, but at some point you have to give a damn about your customers. My honest opinion, Activision wouldn't be where it's at if it wasn't for their customers. Now, I understand their marketing strategy. They're marketing to the younger age, which is kind of weird because the game's rated 17 up, but whatever, you know. Activision logic. You know, honestly, though, I get why they market to the younger generation, because a lot of these kids don't really think for themselves, which, hey, I mean, I vouch for everybody. Even when I was at that age, I didn't really think as much as I do now. That's what happens at that young age. You don't really think much, and Activision saw that opportunity to take advantage of that, so they did with the sniping. And I'm not knocking on snipers, but I will briefly talk about you little bitches. I'm just kidding. You guys for just a second, though. The snipers, they have been pretty crazy, been very hectic the past few Call of Duties. Modern Warfare 2 is where they started all their ridiculousness, and it's continued after the game. The only other Call of Duty after Modern Warfare 2 where the snipers were not ridiculously powerful, but they were still effective if you knew how to snipe, was Black Ops 1. I will admit that the snipers had a lot of just terrible nerfs. Like, the snipers were pretty bad. The only one that was actually a viable option was the L96, I believe. You could get away with using the Dragunov occasionally, and maybe the WA2000. And I don't even remember the other sniper. I think it was the PSG one. Those were okay. But as far as I'm concerned, the only really good one was the L96, which was a bolt action. With extended mags, you got 10 rounds. Without it, you had 5. But a lot of snipers complained about it, and they said it was just too nerfed, which is somewhat understandable. But you can still get one-hit kills when done properly. Now, you're probably asking why I'm talking about the snipers. Well, that plays a key feature into why the pace of the game is how it is in these past few Call of Duties. But Ghost seems to be one of the slowest out of them all. Why? Because the maps are huge as shit. For one, it seems like they got with the creators of Battlefield, DICE, i.e. DICE, It seems like they brought some of the developers over here and said, hey, you know what, Jim? What, Billy? Well, I'll tell you something. You know those Battlefield maps? Yeah. Well, you know how you have vehicles to get you across the map? Yeah. Well, Call of Duty, we can't run the vehicles, but we'll decide to make the maps the same size anyways. Now, I understand that the maps aren't as big as Battlefield's maps, but it was just kind of a joke because I have no idea what they were thinking when they made the maps that big. Maybe it has something to do with the next generation consoles only having ground war. Maybe they had a deal with Xbox and PlayStation, you know, or Microsoft and Sony, I should say. Maybe they had a deal with them. I don't know. Think about it for a second. They had a pretty good deal, you know, and they make people want to buy the new console, so there's, doing air quotes there, more action. For some reason, they thought that would be a good idea, and it worked. You know, of course, a lot of people were going to buy the new consoles anyways, but that was a great idea because they took a first-person shooter that is obviously popular, Call of Duty series, and they basically made it suck for the current generation consoles, or the old generation if you want to call them that, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3. That was pretty smart, I'm not going to lie, marketing strategy-wise, but it was pretty filthy, honestly. I'm going back to the topic because I got a little bit off on a tangent. So, the slow pace of the maps, and just the game in general. Okay, so, we've got the maps covered. The maps are retarded. They're just ridiculous. Now we have to cover the character's health. I don't care if the character's health is 0.1%, 1%, 100%. I don't care. It's too low where it's at right now. I know some people say, it's because the guns kill fast, or it's because they're like, the guns kill fast. It's not because your health is low. I don't give a shit. My character drops fast, too fast. It's not like it's hardcore. It shouldn't be like that. They did that to cover up their engine that has faults, and that was also another attempt at being sneaky. They are using a Quake engine that is over 10 damn years old on a game that came out and was made for 2014. That's ridiculous. It's made for next gen. They're using an engine that's over 10 years old. That's another problem. I bet if they got a new engine, Call of Duty would see a significant increase in sales, instead of them lying and saying, we got a new engine, then they change their mind a month later and say, oh no, we're not getting a new engine, we're just updating the old one. That tricked a lot of people. A lot of people got confused on that. Another sneaky little strategy they thought they could do. Pull the wool over my eyes. No, I'm not believing any of it because I can see through their bullshit. That was another thing that made the game slow, is just the engine. The engine cannot keep up with the character movement. Now, most of you've probably heard this if you listen to Thunder or Fisticuffs. They're both pretty good commentators. I like them both and respect them both and respect their opinions. And they have pretty good commentaries, of course. Very good content. I highly suggest you go check their content out. That was another thing that messed up the game. Finally, with the snipers, I'm going back on this again because I know it took me a long time to get around to this. The snipers are very effective at slowing the game down. For one, they are kill streak enders. The reason they're kill streak enders is because they're generally a one-hit kill. You know, the people that use the bolt action snipers, or the ones that are really high powerful. They're kill streak enders. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, you know, any smart player can outmaneuver the snipers. The aim assist is pretty ridiculous. They said they got rid of it in Black Ops 2. Look what happened with the DSR. It one-shots people to the shin. It's ridiculous. And Call of Duty Ghosts, they say quick scoping's not in the game. I still never believed them, but I just thought it was pretty hilarious that they lied that bad because there's people aiming in about a quarter of a second. It's pretty ridiculous getting their scopes up and beating out people with SMGs. So that was another problem. Lastly, the assault kill streaks are absolute garbage. They have to make kill streaks effective to make fast-paced Call of Duty games. That's just how you have to do it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little commentary. I know it was kind of a rant, but I tried to keep it as maintained as possible. But you guys, of course, have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one.
Well done.